Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to see you if you've actually hit on this link and are here to see my video. Please comment, like, subscribe. For those of you who are not subscribed, think about becoming a part of this sub hub because everyone is welcome and I am so excited to see that my channel is growing. It makes me feel so good. You have no idea. So those of you who do come back again and again to see my videos, thank you a million times. Thank you. It means everything to me. It really does. Well, today's video is going to be like a paranormal story time, and I'm going to be speaking about night terrors, aka sleep paralysis. And this is more of a comfort video for those of you who know someone who's going through it. If, you know, one of you younger generations, you know, come across my video and don't know what to do because your parents don't believe you and you've gone to the doctor and they're like, it's sleep paralysis. And I'm not saying that sleep paralysis is not real. It is real. It is a medical condition. I do believe some people have it. Only sleep paralysis. They don't have anything that's associated with it. I think people who get sleep paralysis though have a sixth sense, have something more, or have a gift that they don't know about. At least these are my opinions, and I'm only doing this video because I don't know how long people can have what I had, the night terrors that I had, but mine lasted for 6 freaking years. 6 years. And I'm just here to tell you that, you know, I've had sleep paralysis where it was just me, because it's basically you stuck between waking and sleeping, like your subconscious mind wakes up before your body wakes up, and that's what sleep paralysis is. But most of the time when I would get it, it was something caused it. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that it's not a medical condition, because it is. But 9 times out of 10, more often than not, it is associated with something that could be paranormal. So again, this video is just for comfort purposes, for people who like just don't know what to do. If you're watching me and you like my story times only, then you guys are probably the ones who are really paying attention and listening, and maybe know someone who is going through some type of a night terror, have children who are going through night terrors. A lot of young couples out there with children and they just don't know what to do and they don't understand it. Well, I'm going to explain mine, and mine started at the age of about 6 years old, and it lasted all the way up into puberty until I was 12. And I would have this dream sometimes once a month, sometimes once a week, or more often than that. And it was debilitating, it was draining, I was scared out of my mind. You know, I'm Catholic, my parents were Catholic. I think that because my mom was so rigid in her religion and we went to church every Sunday and I took Holy Communion. I've done my first Holy Communion. I did my confirmation. You know, I was baptized. I have all the sacraments under the Catholic religion. I think that was a saving grace. My oldest sister is a nun, so that's also a blessing. Any type of clergy member in a family is a huge, huge blessing. Why this happens, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you my story and then kind of give you my opinion on, you know, what you could do, or if, you know, hopefully you grow out of it like I did. So that is an option. I think most people do. But anyway, this is my story. So as you know, if you are a follower of mine, you will see throughout my paranormal story times, especially the personal ones, I always visit a certain place. I always go to a place where it's like twilight. It's not dark, but it's not afternoon. It's not midday. It's just a weird kind of a twilight. It's like a darkness that you can see, but it's very uncomfortable. And you're basically only going, excuse me, you are waking, you're in the same place, so you end up still being in the exact same place that you are. It's just a dark version. So, like I said, souls do travel. Like I've said before, I mean, you know, souls travel, and I believe that my soul would travel to this place. And the reason why I say it's a night terror is because of the way that I would wake up. But anyway, I end up in this place, and I used to sleep with my mom when I was really young because it was just too many of us. We didn't have enough space, so I slept with my mom until almost 11 or 12 years old. I would wake up in this place, and it was in the apartment, in the room that I shared with my mom, and everything was exactly the same. And I remember the first time having it, I would look around and it was really quiet. And I remember looking at the door, and the door was pitch black. Like, not the door, but my mom would leave the door open because I was afraid of the dark. So she would leave the door open, and the door was open. My mom wasn't there for some reason. Nobody was in the apartment. It was like I was alone on the freaking planet. I would look outside and nobody would be on the streets. There would be no lights in the windows. It was just like I was the only one there. It was really weird. So when I would look at the door, it was a dark beyond dark. So I didn't want to go out into the hallway. And our apartment was pretty big. We have 5 bedrooms. The bedroom that was right next to mine was my sister, the one who I live with now. She was right there. And then my father's bedroom was directly in front. And then going further down the line, there was like a couple of other rooms, and then the living room and the kitchen. But yeah, it was beyond dark. It was a blacker than I had ever seen. And the only light that I had was coming through the windows. And we had 2 big windows in that particular room because I had a corner room. And it was facing the parking lot. So I'd wake up there, and like I said, everything would be so quiet. And I remember just being afraid. And it was like, I don't know, I was in a holding pattern, waiting for something to come, or waiting for someone to come. That's how I felt. And the first time I had it, I didn't understand. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And the only comparison that I can give you as far as when that thing would come, do you remember, I don't know, if you're a fan of horror and you like paranormal and you're watching this, you probably know The Evil Dead. And you know the movie, I'm talking about the first movie, when those awkward, you know, the camera would rush to him like he was in the middle of fighting, and then he would stop and he would feel that thing coming through the forest. And I've got to stop because my camera is about to run out of power. So I will pick up where I left off in just a second. Okay, so I've got fresh batteries. So where was I? Was talking about the Evil Dead and how when he would be fighting those evil things that were coming through the woods, it hadn't reached him yet, and he knew it was coming, but it hadn't actually gotten to him. And that's what I would go through every single time, and every time I ended up there, and it was the same place for 6 years. 6 years I ended up in this place. And so, like I said, the first time that I had the dream, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. So I don't know why I remember the very first time, but I do. I turned around and I felt a presence. The presence came, and it just was a fear that took over. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. I couldn't yell for help. I was just paralyzed with utter and hopeless and fear. I was defeated. I was just, it was just the most hopeless feeling that I ever had in my life. And the thing would lift me up off the ground. It was invisible. I couldn't see it, thank God. And I would just be shaken. I would just be violently shaken over and over and over again. And the only thing I know how to do in my mind was pray. And I would pray and pray and pray. And sometimes the prayer would snap me out of it. And sometimes I felt like I would pray for a very, very, very long time. And it probably wasn't very long, but that's how I felt. And then I would wake up. And I just, I would wake up sometimes crying. And my mom, I never told my mom. I never told her about it. I only told her after I was an adult. And she asked me why I didn't tell her, and why I didn't, just why I didn't tell her. And I'm like, what do you do? If any of you are going through this, or any of you know of someone going through this, or you're a parent of a child who's going through this, are you really going to believe them? Are you really going to take it seriously? Well, I'm just here telling you my story because I had those night terrors. I had that so-called sleep paralysis, whatever you want to call it, thing happen to me a lot. And it was always associated with something paranormal. And that night terror was not something that was normal. It was something that was happening to me for a reason. The reason I don't know. I have no idea why that would happen to a child, because I was a kid. I mean, I'm an adult now, and it's different when you're an adult, but I was an innocent little girl, 6 years old, 6 to 12, and I think that's probably when you're most innocent, and just had this every other night or twice a night or once a month. It was just, I never knew when it was coming, and when it came, God, it was the most horrible thing. So in talking to people who are going through this, and you know, hopefully, or I don't know, okay, let me try to gather my thoughts. I'm trying to say too much at once. Basically, I just want this to be, like I said, a comfort. I did grow out of it. I stopped having the dream after 12 years old. I just stopped. The dreams just didn't happen again, and all I was left with was nightmares. I had a lot of nightmares and a lot of horrible dreams. I just recently had, just I think the night before, the day before yesterday, I had a miserable dream. It was really bad. And I have a book of shadows where I write all my dreams. I've written it in my book of shadows book, so I will do a video and I will tell you guys about it, because I do videos and I read from my book of shadows. And some are just dreams, but some are more than dreams, and so hopefully you look forward to that. But yeah, I just want to comfort those of you who are going through it, and maybe give some parents some hope that their child will grow out of it. I grew out of it, and it happened to me for 6 years. So yeah, that's basically all this video was about. I wanted to tell you about it, and I know it's a little scary. It's more, it's very real. It was very real for me, and it's a more serious kind of a thing to talk about for a paranormal video. But I don't know, for those of you who don't believe in it and have never heard of it, you know, hopefully I've scared you to death. No, I'm just kidding. But it is a paranormal video, so it's supposed to be a little bit more scary. But for those of you who are going through something similar, I hope it brought you a little bit of hope, a little bit of comfort, and the fact that you're not alone, that it does happen, and it happened to me for 6 years. So this is the end of my video, guys. I hope the video found you well. I hope it helped a couple of you. Again, comment, like, subscribe to my soul hub, and yeah, until my next video, be good to each other, make good decisions, and I will see you later.